Hi guys,
Hi.
happy Sunday. We're jumping on. I don't know. We were going to do something tomorrow night, but we're like, you know what? We were at dinner tonight, and we were talking about some things that happened over the weekend, and we figured, there might be some people winding down from the weekend and are getting prepared for the week ahead. And I know it's kind of late, but we figured like let's leave everyone. Let's get everyone ready and moving forward and ending the week on a good note, moving forward to next week with a really, really good note, good purpose, and a good message. So, Al, Debbie, Luna, Michelle, Cindy, Aaron, Melissa, hi, everybody. Say hi and where you're coming in from. Like or love the video. Would love to hear from you guys. So, what we're going to talk about today is meeting people where they are, but on a side note, not taking things personally, because there's a story that I want Nancy to share first before I share mine from the weekend. And, this will absolutely help you guys understand not only people better, but understand yourself better. So why don't you share with them what we talked about at dinner?
Yeah, so we were just having our normal, just evening conversation. And we were just saying, like, how sometimes when we talk to people and they might not be happy or they might be acting a certain way, like they're miserable, or it's like, man, what did I do? How you always kind of take it personally. And I was telling Scott, it was funny because we went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning because where we were at, we didn't have a Starbucks, and we had to kind of go outside our normal routine. And the lady at the Dunkin' Donuts was so miserable. And I think Scott asked just for something, random. It was like honey with something, and the lady was just miserable. And whenever we actually got the coffee, it was it was so bad.
So,
Like,
I walked in and she goes, and this, I mean, I'm not lying. She goes, "How can I help you?" And I'm like,
she was like,
and I'm like,
she's so.
"Hi, my girlfriend won something first," and Nancy's like, "Can I have a small iced coffee?" And she goes, "Anything else?" And I'm like, um, "Yeah, I would like a medium iced almond milk latte with a little bit of honey in the espresso." And she goes, "Can't do that. Can't put honey in the espresso. It comes out of the machine." I said, no, I said, I know. I said, is there any way that you can just, in the cup where the espresso comes out, just stick the honey in there first so it like kind of seeps in. She goes, all right, I'll try to do that. So we paid, and then we left, and then we waited for our drinks. She got hers, and I got mine, and literally it was iced milk. It was just
There
like,
was no sign of
yeah,
coffee.
it was like pure. It was pure white. Like literally, it was just like a cup of iced almond milk. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because she's obviously going through something. I'm like, I'm just going to chalk this one up. I'm just going to try to make it work, which I did by throwing it away and finding a Starbucks later. But we were talking about it at dinner, and it brought up a story that you were hearing that.
Yeah. So I'll just jump in here. So it's been a theme lately, and it was this Dunkin' Donuts person. And the other day we were actually getting breakfast, and there was a guy who was running around like crazy, and he was trying to like do all these things. And
Yeah.
every time we kind of like asked him, we were like, hey, can we just, have this really quick or whatever? He was like,
Oh
and he was
yeah.
just like frazzled, but it was like, okay, he's obviously
Doing the
got some
best he
stuff going
could.
on.
Doing the
But
best he could.
anyway, so our conversation at dinner, it brought us to, a lot of people, like the lady at Dunkin' Donuts today, we kind of look at and we go, like, man, like, why are they so miserable and why curmudgeony, whatever. And I was listening to a podcast. It was actually Amy Schumer, and it's one of her newer podcasts. It just came up on the, hey, you should check this out. And the one thing that she was talking about that I really resonated with was that she went to a restaurant and the waiter was incredibly mean to her and was just so rude. And she took it personally. She was like, wow, like, why am I unlikable? Why does this person, treat me this way? And come to find out, someone had actually come up to her and said, hey, don't mind Sally or whatever. She actually just had a really bad procedure done. And so Amy Schumer, who's usually really funny, actually made a comment like, wow, like I felt like it was all about me. And I was thinking of the selfish reasons, like why she might be upset at me. But really, everyone's kind of got their own thing going on. So that's what we really wanted to jump on and talk about, how, even though other people might be going through something or might be curmudgeony or not nice or not happy, they usually have something going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I also feel like that when we were talking about that, we create stories like about certain people or certain things that happen. Like if people say or do something, we make up a whole story behind it, why it's happening. And the fact is that, obviously anything that we feel or talk about that we don't know doesn't exist until you get the facts and you ask that person specifically, hey, is something going on? You seem kind of distracted or kind of off. And then they can tell you exactly what's going on. All you can do is think about what it could be, which you shouldn't do because you don't know what it is until you ask them. So the best thing to do is say, you know what? They're probably just having a bad moment or a bad day. And you know what? Let's hope they have a better day tomorrow. And then you move on. So, I could have been that person to say, hey, this is completely wrong. My whole drink is messed up. But I could tell that she was distracted. I could tell that, things were going on in her head, just the way that her energy was low. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to make her day any more of a certain way that it might be right now. So we're going to move on. And we're just going to move past that. So I just want to say hi to everyone that came on. Hi, Amy, Daryl, Teresa, Patty, Rick, Andrea, David, Erica. Glad to see you guys on here. Happy Sunday. So I want to ask from you guys. We want to ask you, how many people here have made up a story in their head about an interaction with someone that you know and come to find out later that something really off happened? They might have had a death in the family. They might have had maybe they were sick and they got some not so good news, or they were battling something or going through something. Type Y or yes in the chat box if you've ever been in that situation where you've been talking to someone or in conversation and you assumed like, oh my God, this person said this, that, or the other, and we don't actually know what's going on behind closed doors. Hi, Teresa. What's up, Jose? So yes, Y or yes in the chat box if you've ever been in that kind of situation. Hi, Christine. Good to see you on here. Jose says yes. And we've all done it. We've all absolutely made up stories about, what was it we were talking about the other day where you were saying something and it was about maybe something with your business and you're like, you know what, I'm probably just making up a story right now, so I'm going to stop. I forget who it was about or what it was about, but it was something, the email that you never got back from the person, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So just explain like the broadness of the situation, not exactly, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That one was more about like miscommunication, I think. For me, but I did think of a story though, what Scott was saying. Like I actually went to the beach and there were all these potted, things for sale. And there was a huge sale and I got out of the car and I'm like, oh, I want a planner, and I was looking at a bunch of different ones and this guy came out and he said, get your hands off those planners, like don't touch, and I was like, holy crap, this guy's so rude, like so mean. And he was just like, no, you point to the ones you want and I'll tell you how much it is. And I was just like, whoa, okay. I felt like I was like 5 years old again. So I, kept my hands behind my back and I walked around and I said, well, that one, So anyway, we got up to the cash register and I was just kind of quiet and I was just like, is everything okay? Like how's business, whatever. And he just looks at me and he's like, I'm really sorry. My mom died last night. And I was just like, up until that point, I was just like, this guy is so rude, so mean, But again, the whole point of this that we kind of wanted to jump on here is, you don't really know. And a lot of us like take things personally and we think it's us and we just think, we jump to conclusions. But you never know what people are going through.
Yeah. And the other thing is this, Debbie wrote, so I have a coworker who is wishy-washy like that, where you never know what mood she's in. I just say good morning and wait it out and see if she is happy or moody. I'm not going to take it personally like I used to. And, Debbie, that's exactly right. Like everyone, the plain simple fact is this, and this is, this might be hard for people to digest and it might not be, but everyone cares about themselves and what they have to deal with. So I don't want to say that, like I care about people, Nancy cares about people, but first and foremost, you care about yourself and what you have to do. So to think that, this person's being this way or that way because they have to, you have to understand, they don't care about you first. They care about what they're going through first. And then, yeah, it's not you. Exactly. It's never you. It's always what they're going through or what they're talking about, what they're trying to move past. And the other thing is this, we always end up taking people's responses way too personally. Like if you're doing a nutritional program or you have a network marketing business and someone says no or they're not interested, we get so upset. Like, oh my God, how can they say no? But the fact is that they just don't want it. And it's not you. Like, you didn't say anything wrong. You didn't paint the wrong picture. You didn't make it so expensive. Like, you're just saying how things are, but we're so quick to say, I'm so stupid. I should have said this. I said it the complete wrong way. They totally would have said yes if I would have said it this way. No. They're not saying no to you. They say no to everything. They're not giving you the excuse. They give that excuse for everything. We end up taking things so personally. And I remember after we moved on with our day and we went to Starbucks and I got my coffee and I was finally happy. We were sitting and Nancy was sharing with me that this morning she was feeling a little bit anxious. So why don't you share with them how you were feeling like you were just feeling off?
Yeah.
No,
I was feeling off.
So anyway, we were sitting ready to go and she goes, I'm sorry if I was feeling kind of off a little bit earlier. I was just getting overwhelmed. And I said, but I could easily get that way because it's the most difficult thing for people to do is to remain present with where they are, because it's so easy to start getting in our heads.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, like Scott was saying, like earlier, I just felt like anxiety for no reason sometimes. Like, I just started thinking about all the stuff, that I've got to do for the upcoming week and things that I've got to juggle and things that I've got to do. So anyway, the whole thing is like so often, and Scott actually made a really good point. He was like, Nancy, like, stop worrying about what's going to happen this week. Like, let's just live today. We'll kind of break things down and we'll plan out the week and everything. But a lot of times we create stories, we create like mountains out of nothing. So just kind of chill. And it really just like that, just thinking that way and like hearing that, it kind of helped, with the whole thing.
Yeah. And I said to Nancy, I said, listen, I could easily start thinking about the 17,000 things that I have to do. And she has a ball of sunshine. Oh my God, how can they say no translate if they don't like me and I do everything wrong? Exactly. Like, we don't need to please everybody, but so you could easily sit there and think about all the things you have to do. And this was at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, listen, we have a whole day. We're going to drive home. We're going to get the house situated. We're going to plan out our evening. We're going to go have a nice dinner. We're going to come back home. We're going to write out our goals for the week, and then we're going to be good. And she goes, you're right. So it's just about taking a couple steps back, and it goes back to the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, where he talks about the only real time in life that we can actually control, because we can, you can't control the past because it's already happened. You can't control the future because it hasn't happened yet. But you can absolutely control how you feel about right now. So when you can realize that, what's past has already been in the past, what the future holds, the future will hold, but you can actually live right now and just live in peace, live within your power, and just enjoy the day. So many people, like we could have both went down that rabbit hole today, and it would have robbed us of the joy that we felt by living today. Like there was a lot of great things that happened today that if you go down that rabbit hole, it completely shifts you off that course, and then you're gone. And then you start getting in that circle where 2 hours later you come back and you're finally present again. Then you get mad at yourself because you wish you would have gotten out of it earlier and you just wasted 2 hours out of your day. So then you spend the next 2 hours being worried and pissed off about the fact that you should have came out of where you should have come out of 2 hours before. That's the rabbit hole that a lot of people go down. It's the same rabbit hole that people go down when they worry about what other people think, what other people are saying, because it's not about you. It's about everybody else. So we wanted to go over, or Nancy's going to go over this thing. It's called the life filter. So I'm going to let her explain it.
So I was just, part of our conversation at dinner tonight was, when you encounter people and, I just kept saying you just have to meet people where they are, right? You can't make assumptions, you can't make up stories, but what can you do? Control what you can control, which is yourself. So I think it's always important to have the filters and go through the filters. Is what I'm about to say necessary? Is it necessary that I say this thing? Is it truthful? And is it kind? So these are the three things that I usually always try to follow. I'm not perfect, so obviously I don't always follow to a T. But when you actually control what you can control and you can control yourself, and again, is it necessary? Is it truthful? And is it kind? At least you are being, a good person. You're being a good role model. And I think Luna had said earlier, sometimes, try to make people smile or maybe just probe a little, like, how's your day going? And, sometimes people do open up a little bit and sometimes they feel better just kind of letting it out. But yeah, just try to be the best that you can be.
Being real. And I think those are three amazing questions. Just think about that. Is it necessary for me to tell someone, I think they're a piece of shit? No, and that's not necessary because, it's an opinion. It's not really the truth. And it's not kind. The fact of the matter is when we can all understand and come to grips with the fact that there are going to be 50% of the people in this world that love us and 50% of the people that we meet in this world don't like us. But it's so easy for us to focus on the people that don't. It's so easy, because all we want as a species, as human beings, all we want is for people to like us. And not everyone is going to like us. So it's easy to focus on the ones that, maybe are trolling on our posts and saying mean things or not being pleasant or giving us a dirty look or whatever it is. But then there's those amazing people that are right there in front of us as well, that we could focus all of our time and energy on those people. Because being kind to everyone, not because we have to, but because we want to, because it just feels better when you leave people better than the way that you found them, right?
Yeah, no, it's so true.
But asking those three questions, is it necessary for me to say this at all? There's a lot of people that get into conversations. You open up that can of worms when it doesn't need to be opened because it doesn't need to be said. Is it really truthful, or is it an opinion of a story that you're making up in your head about something that you don't even know? And is it kind? Opening up that can of worms, making up that story, is it gonna leave that person feeling good about themselves? But most importantly, how are you going to end up feeling?
Yeah.
Sometimes, what are we told as kids? Sometimes it's best to say nothing at all.
Mhm.
Sometimes saying nothing is better than saying anything at all.
Yeah. And I always think like my go-to, it's in an argument or like in general conversation, like I always go to facts, right? Facts are key. So,
My
if
mom
you're
says
always,
facts are friendly.
yeah, there you go. Facts are friendly. But I think it's so important just to stick to your facts. And it's funny because I wrote a little something down I heard the other day is that when, and it's important to stay even keeled, kind, everything. But I wrote it down that when your emotion goes up and you find yourself getting in a tizzy and whatever, usually your intelligence goes down, which means you get emotional, you say things you don't mean, it totally messes up your filter, which, is probably not truthful at that point. It's probably not kind. So whenever you do get emotional, when you get worked up, that kind of thing, just remember to tune it down a notch.
Yeah, and we were talking about how we love the fact that there's so many people now doing personal development. There's so many people. We still have this goal of having the Positive News Network.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
Eventually having our own TV station. It's called the Positive News Network. But I'm just so happy and like just that all that you guys are on here right now because we act as vessels. And I know this may sound very airy-fairy to some of you, but it's the truth. What's up, Lavelle? We act as vessels. Anyone that is putting themselves out there to really speak the truth, speak how they feel, to encourage and empower other people. We're the vessels for how you guys feel. And obviously we're feeling what you feel, but it makes me very happy and it makes us very excited that so many people are doing personal development. They're uncovering things from their past that they can move forward from to live a great life. They're having a conscious that is more prosperous thinking. They want to create a great life for themselves and their families. And life is too short. I'm telling you guys, like it's not. I'll go back to it. When that same week when Kate Spade left and Anthony Bourdain, when they both left under the age of 62 years old, with kids, with spouses, with families, and everyone thinks they had all the money in the world. They had all the money in the world, but money doesn't buy you happiness. Happiness comes from within. You have to honor and appreciate where you guys are. You think about, I think about why I use social media. And Nancy and I speak about this often. We use social media as a vessel, as a portal, as a means of connecting with all of you to leave you better. And there are and I'm telling you, it's growing. It's changing. I see it all the time. I see so many people every day, and I need to commend all of you for being positive every day in a world where we can easily focus on the negative. And it was funny, Nancy and I were going back to our original text thread when we first started talking, when we started dating. And, there was like a 2-month period where we lost communication, but we were both going through something personally, but we were leaving each other, but we were flowering each other when we didn't even realize we were flowering each other. I got her a book called "You're a Badass at Making Money" by Jen Sincero. I would send her YouTube videos. She told me about WeWork, where it would be a great place for me to just advance my ideas. So we should always look to better people around us. And I know that you've always been a positive person, but just share with them just going on this journey that we've been going on together, being positive and empowered. And even though you and I are both not where we want to be personally, professionally, spiritually, like we're on that journey. Like there's no peak. Like we're constantly climbing. How has it left you feeling the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I don't know how many of you out there, but I was always told in a lot of positions that I've done work-wise, prior to obviously becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own thing, I was told throughout my whole life that I was too nice. that I was too happy and that I needed to be a little more, I guess, mean or not as nice.
Oh, thank you.
So I think the biggest thing for me is, and my journey really in the last year has been putting my foot down and having more confidence. And, I talk about it with Scott all the time, and I want to kind of, actually branch off and do something around women and confidence and stuff like that. But I think it's with men as well. But I think having the confidence to put your foot down and just be who you are. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be friendly. It's okay to seek the good in people. It's actually a whole nother level of person. So and I always talk to Scott, it's like people are in different rungs of the ladder, right? It's almost like a self-development or confidence ladder. Some people are down here and they compare themselves to other people and they're jealous of what other people have. And, they make comments and they're snide and they're just not nice. Those people are usually, here, I'm out of camera. People are usually down here on the rung, and then you kind of go up another one, and then you've got the, more friendly, but they're still kind of always comparing, and it's always about them, and it's very selfish, and you keep going up the rung. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Scott said in the last 6 months, for me, it's been really embracing that and kind of owning it. So, you know what? I might not be what you want me to be. I might not be what this person wants me to be. And you know what? You might not like what I'm saying right now, and that's okay. But I'm embracing me and who I am, and I'm being confident, and I'm happy. I'm friendly. My dad, my parents, my mom, raised me to be a good, nice person and to be kind to others, no matter if it's this person, whether it's that person. Even if that person's nasty, I'm still going to be nice because I can control that. And that's it. That's who I am. So.
My mom always told me, kill people with kindness. And for those that are on here live or watching on the replay or watch us at a later time, just type in one thing that you like about yourself in the chat box. I like to do these brain dumps, but I want you guys to realize how great and amazing you are just the way that you are. So in the chat box, just write a quality. It could be a single word or, how you see yourself. What is something that you love about who you are? Type it in the chat box, because you need to embrace the beauty of who you are, what you stand for, what you're doing in this life. Because we only get one. Everyone, Debbie says kind. I love that. And you certainly are kind. Everyone thinks that we get mulligans. There are no do-overs in this life. What was the movie that I keep talking about? It was the British movie where
it's my favorite.
Where
it's About Time.
So the movie is called About Time. Rachel McAdams, right? Mm-hmm. Rachel McAdams is in it. I highly recommend it. Compassionate. Love that. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Steve. Hi, Tracy. What's up, Mark? So I just asked everybody to do a little brain dump. Write a word or just how you view yourself. What is something wonderful about yourself? But I highly recommend seeing this movie called About Time. I don't want to give away too much of what it's about. It is about time. But it's about how you truly can't, you can't do anything over. And even if you had the power to do that, it makes you really think about where you are right now, because every day, you guys have to realize this, every day is a day to start over. No matter what happens today, tomorrow is a brand new day to make it better. If there's something that you maybe said to your kids or said to a spouse or a family member, that doesn't have to be every day. You can change that the very next day by apologizing, by having a conversation and moving on. You can change the entire scope of your life every single day. Like every day, every moment, every hour, every minute is an opportunity. Any moment that you're alive and breathing and talking and living and being is an opportunity for you to change the entire scope of your life. And Lisa says personable. Love it. Mm-hmm. Jose says personal development has been the best investment I've ever made, and it's lifting people up through social media to a higher vibration is the best part of me. I love that, Jose. It's so true. Do you want to leave anybody anything before we sign off?
No, I mean, just where Scott's going with everything. I mean, you can make each day better, and it's all about how you translate it and how you feel about certain things. Because, whether you're dealing with stressors, like I was dealing with anxiety that I didn't even know what I was like having anxiety about. You have different things that are coming your way, and it's all about how you handle it and how you digest it. So get your little feet on the ground, assess the situation, control what you can control, and, move forward and be positive.
And just remember, everyone's watching you. Your kids watch what you do. Your spouse and loved ones watch what you do. Your friends watch what you do because they notice things. So be that bright light for everyone around you. So guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Sunday Night Conversation. This can be the beginning of the Positive News Network.
Yeah.
This might be it.
Episode 1.
This was a 30-minute. So did you guys enjoy watching this rather than some crap on TV that was making you feel bad? Like, this is good. This is like, we could do this every Sunday if you guys want to. This is our opportunity for us to talk together, to feel good moving into this incredible week that we have going up there. So happy official summer. It's officially summer now. And we just want you to continue to live and be amazing. So we love you, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.